for Motorweek, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motorweek. We're glad to have you with us. Taking a superb sports car like the Porsche 911 and turning it into a convertible can be risky. That's because cutting off the roof weakens the body structure, and that can have a disastrous effect on handling and feel. Even the vintage air-cooled 911 sometimes suffered that fate just so drivers could enjoy the open air. But that was then, and this is now. And this is the new 1999 Porsche 911 Cabriolet. Will losing its lid make it less of a Porsche? Not hardly, as unlike many convertible designs that are conceived as an afterthought, the 1999 Porsche 911 Carrera Cabriolet was designed right alongside its coupe compatriot. And due to the copious amounts of high-strength steel used in its construction, torsional stiffness is up by 45%, bending stiffness by 50%. In fact, with the added reinforcements, the Cabrio is slightly heavier than the coupe, but not enough so to put a damper on the driving fun. And with Porsche's 50th birthday celebration in full swing, we couldn't think of a better way to blow out the candles than by dropping the top on the first totally new 911 Carrera in 34 years. And it doesn't get any easier than this. No latches to release, no boot to snap in place. Just push the dash-mounted button or turn the key in the door, and 20 seconds later, the lined, well-insulated top with its disappointing plastic backlight is stored neatly behind you a la Boxster. In fact, much of the 911 Carrera is a la Boxster. Front-end styling is almost identical, but the new Carrera is larger than the Boxster and the old 911. The wheelbase has been stretched 3.2 inches to 92.6 inches. Its overall length has increased 6.7 inches. Its width 1.2 inches. Slightly smaller is the retractable rear spoiler, however, that can be raised manually at any speed or does so automatically at 75 miles per hour. There's plenty of Boxster ambiance inside the new 911 as well, but again on a larger scale. The new leather-faced buckets with both power and manual adjustments are designed to fit a wide variety of drivers. Front and large side impact airbags are standard, as is the telescoping steering wheel, and the Boxster-inspired but even more comprehensive gauge cluster in front of it. At the top of the center stack, one finds the AM/FM cassette stereo with its dizzying array of identical-looking buttons and an LCD screen for the optional Porsche Communications Management System. The LCD also serves as the display for the climate controls below, but access to them is partially blocked by the aluminum accented shifter. In the back, there's more hip and leg room, but its usefulness to adults is quickly negated by seat backs that leave one leaning forward due to the pop-up emergency roll bars behind them. Despite a lot of similarities, price is one area where the Boxster and the 911 are worlds apart. Base price on the 911 Carrera Cabriolet is $75,225. Our option-laden tester tipped the scales at $81,745. That's nearly $41,000 more than the Boxster. So why buy a 911? Well, the answer to that question is right here. Awesome acceleration that creates the ability to go from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds on the way to a 13.5-second, 102-mile-per-hour quarter mile. Made possible by this still rear-mounted 3.4-liter water-cooled Boxster 6-cylinder engine. It employs new heads with 4 valves per cylinder, variocam variable valve timing, and coil-on plug ignition to pump out 296 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. And it runs through either a 6-speed manual transmission with a new cable-actuated shift linkage and a smoother, more driver-friendly hydraulic clutch, or a 5-speed Tiptronic S automatic that, when in manual mode, uses steering wheel-mounted buttons for shifting. The 911's better balanced chassis is completely new, and that means numerous suspension upgrades that not only improve on its legendary handling abilities, but virtually eliminates unwanted in-switching oversteer. Tried and true McPherson struts are used up front with liberal use of aluminum components to preserve strength while saving weight. At the rear, more aluminum and a completely revised multi-link suspension design that continues with Porsche's Visoc variable tow control that helps keep tires from steering outward in corners. Gas shocks and coil springs are used all around to even out the road, and owners can choose from 3 suspension packages that vary handling prowess with ride comfort. The rack and pinion steering now has a lighter feel, and the steering gear has been moved forward in front of the front axle, a move that helps reduce the 911's turning diameter by 3.6 feet. Serious braking power has always been one of the 911's strongest attributes, and the new 911 carries on that tradition. The monoblock aluminum 4-piston calipers wrapped around huge 12.5-inch vented rotors up front and 11.8 inches in the rear brought us to a screeching halt from 60 and a scant 103 feet. But the 911's impressive accomplishments are easily enjoyed off the track, too. As expected, turn-ins are razor sharp and right on the money, with just a bit more understeer felt at high speeds. And even the roughest roads we could find evoke nothing more than a trace of cow shake from the Cabrio's rigid structure. Less of a Porsche? We think not. Make no mistake, many of the things we grew to love and loved to hate are gone. But think of it as a new beginning rather than the end of an era. Because in spite of all the changes, the 1999 911 Carrera Cabriolet is still the perfect candidate as Porsche's ambassador of speed to all parts of the globe. Only now it carries the title a little more gracefully. Porsche is a company that builds sports cars and only sports cars. Now, a lot of car companies have been around a lot longer than Porsche and sold a lot more cars. But for half a century, this small German company has left a winning mark on automotive history that's far more significant than its sales figures. To help celebrate that amazing achievement, Lisa Barrow recently attended a very special event to see the cars and meet the people that have put Porsche on the automotive map for 50 years.
Over the last 50 years, Porsche has captured 23,000 victories in competitions from Le Mans to Paris-Dakar. So what better place to celebrate 50 glorious years than the Monterey Historic Races here at Laguna Seca Raceway. For Porsche fanatics, it doesn't get any better than this. One walk through Laguna Seca's paddock turns up a treasure trove of great racing legends, both drivers and cars. Brian Redmond, Derek Bell, and Vic Elford. Not to mention RS60s, 962s, and 917s. There will never be another gathering like this one.
As our 50th anniversary, Porsche's 50th anniversary, we've literally brought the Porsche Museum to the Monterey Historic Races. We've brought 27 of the most famous Porsche race cars here, including the very first car to race in the 24 Hours of Le Mans from Porsche. This is a 356 aluminum coupe, and it won its category in the 1100cc class. So it was a great way for us to start our winning tradition at Le Mans. Okay, Lisa, we're going from the very first Porsche at Le Mans as a winner to the very latest champion from Le Mans. This is a 1998 Porsche 911 GT1. It finished first in this year's 24 Hours of Le Mans. It's the latest carbon fiber chassis and the very latest technology.
Other legendary museum cars included the 1986 959 Paris-Dakar winning rally car, complete with battle scars. This 1954 550 Spider that ran the Carrera Panamericana in Mexico. And the awesome 917, the first Porsche to capture overall victory at Le Mans.
The first one in 1969 was very, very difficult to drive. The big advantage was it was fast. You know, up until then, maximum speed at Le Mans on the Mulsanne Straight has been about 185, 190 miles an hour. And suddenly we were projected into the future in terms of aerodynamics because the car was doing about 220. On the straight, it was so fast compared with the other cars, and during practice, it developed to a wonderful reputation as being a notorious car. So when we got to the Mulsanne Straight, as we came out of the Tertre Rouge corner, generally speaking, day or night, everybody in front recognized the car or even recognized the lights at night. And so they would just queue up on the right until we'd gone past on the left.
Every Porsche has a place in my heart. When I try to analyze what Porsche I like driving the best, it's very difficult. But I think the car I'm sitting on, the 936, sort of did everything right, and it did it when it was very user-friendly. It didn't have ground effects. This car was basically got its downforce from aerodynamic aids, and It had a very tractable engine to it, so it had about 600 horsepower.
Choosing a favorite Porsche is a daunting task. Just one stop in the Porsche Club members' car corral will tell you that. So when it comes to Porsches, we choose to admire them all.
Porsches were very fitting somehow. They seemed right. There was just something special about them. The engine in the back, which was unique, really, then. And always agile, fast enough, sounded good, all of these things. And they somehow fit every circuit you got onto. They would say, oh, this is perfect for Porsche.
I think what's unique about Porsches is the fact that they are totally one-tracked about producing the best sports car in the world, and whether it's for the road or whether it's for racing. And as far as racing is concerned, they just all want to win. And they all have their job to do. They're very serious-minded about it.
No doubt Ferry Porsche, who guided the company for 50 years and passed away earlier this year, would have agreed with those words. Ferry's accomplishments and innovations at Porsche have helped build a promising future and made a celebration like this one possible.
The fact that we're independent, we're doing extremely well financially right now, we will remain independent. It's just a shame that Ferry had to die just 90 days before the 50th anniversary of his dream, his company. You know, he said that function and beauty always go together. I think these cars that are surrounding us today are absolutely beautiful. They function. You just watched them function on the track. Beauty and function. Beautiful blue sky here. He's watching.
Hi, I'm Brian Redmond and you're watching Motorweek, the first motoring television show.